Hello, it's me, Toby from Morningwood, and for today's video, we're going to make a computer desk. This computer desk is made out of course, my favorite wood, mahogany, since it is affordable and has a nice warm color to it. As you have noticed, I've ordered the wood S4S, but I'm still planing it so that all of my planks have the same thickness. This planer from Lotus is really a workhorse in the workshop. It has been with me for 3 years and still cuts mahogany like butter. After planing these planks uniformly, I am going to joint the edges using a table saw. Jointing the edges will give me a very nice seamless tabletop. At this point, I'm still not purchasing a jointing machine since this is a very legit way of jointing boards also. This has its advantages and disadvantages, but it saves me a lot of money and a lot of space for now. But don't you worry, at some point I'm going to buy a jointing machine and I'm going to happily show that in my videos. Using this jointing jig to joint one side of the board will make one side perfectly square. Now I'm going to remove it from the jig and I'm going to joint the other side without the jig, since it's going to reflect the jointed side. Meaning, whatever angle is it from the other side, it will be reflected on the side that I am cutting now. That is why it is very important to calibrate your saw blade, check for square, see if your jointing jig is also calibrated to square, so that all cuts will be square. By the way, this table saw has been with me from the start. It has been also 3 years and it still cuts wood super easy. Oh, and this is a new tool in the shop. I just bought it a few months ago, 1 or 2 months ago. This is called the Biscuit jointer. This machine will allow you to cut slots in your wood in the middle of the wood so that you could insert these so-called biscuits to help with alignment. Do you ever notice that whenever you do a glue up, whenever you clamp the wood together already, it shifts, it moves? This, like other jointers like the Festool Domino or maybe dowels, will eliminate the shifting of wood since it will align and hold the wood together. Note that this does not give durability or strength in the joint, it just aligns. Referencing the top surface, it will cut holes so that everything will be aligned on the top surface. Next is glue up. Of course, these pipe clamps are very indispensable and very useful in the shop. I have lots of these. I'm going to use Pioneer wood glue with D3 formulation, water resistant, very durable, and has a manageable curing time. As you can see, I am inserting the biscuit so that it could align on the slots on the other planks. I have noticed a very nice improvement in my glue ups since there is not much movement. I did not need to use cauls, but there will be little movement, but with a little sanding, it will do the trick. Now, when clamping, always make sure that it is clamped very well. You need to have a nice clamped glue joint. With that being said, I'm going to use multiple clamps across the board so that it will be evenly clamped all over the board. That's why you need to stock up on clamps, especially parallel clamps if you are in this kind of work, gluing lots of boards, tables, chopping boards, etc. Since Pioneer wood glue is water-based, I can easily clean the glue before it even dries. Wait for it to cure and then we could cut the edges. Always have your wood oversized so that you could cut and finish the edges on your specific dimensions. This in turn will give you a nicer end product. I'm using some plywood for my straight edge. Of course, you could use your plunge saw, track saw, whatever, as long as you cut straight. Next is my favorite part, sanding. Lol. Sanding is a very tedious part of woodworking, but it is very essential, very important to have a nice product. So, to save time, I'm actually going to use 2 sanders at once. Of course, it makes sense that it will do a faster job compared to only using 1 sander. I'm starting with 120 grit and then 180 grit and then jumping to 400 grit for that nice finish. I am going to top coat this wood with natural oil, boiled linseed oil, and then beeswax. Note that this is not a very durable finish, but it will keep moisture out of your wood. The other thing I like about boiled linseed oil, or any kind of oil actually, is that it retains the texture of the wood. Since there is no layer of plastic on top of the wood, you can feel the grain and texture of the wood, as well as the natural color of the wood. Let this dry for about 15 minutes and then wipe it off, or else you'll have a sticky situation. Next, I'm going to screw down the legs. I did not make this. I outsourced this from my friend who does a great job in metalworking. Now I'm going to position the legs. I don't want them on the edges, flush on the edges. I want them recessed a bit so that it will look nicer. Simply using black screws, 1.5 inch black screws for attaching these legs. Nothing to it but to do it. So yeah, this is the last part of the video. Hit like and subscribe if I've earned it. Comment down below what you think and share this with your friends. Medyo mali ng buhat ako dito so nahulog ako. 1, whoop!